There's a particular kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from working too hard or thinking too much. It comes from spending years trying to become someone better than who you are. Not better in the sense of learning or maturing, but better in the sense that who you are right now is never quite acceptable, never finished, never enough. It's the exhaustion of standing outside yourself, clipboard in hand, constantly evaluating. What needs fixing? What needs optimizing? What version of you're failing to live up to today? I know this exhaustion well. For a long time, I believed that if I just worked on myself hard enough, woke earlier, disciplined my habits, healed my trauma, optimized my routines, where I would finally arrive somewhere calm, somewhere complete. But that place never came, and slowly something uncomfortable became clear. What was supposed to save me was quietly wearing me down. We live in the age of the optimized self. Open your phone and you'll find endless advice. Wake up earlier, track everything, meditate longer, fix your mindset, heal your trauma, become your highest potential. It all sounds positive, encouraging even, but beneath all of it is a silent assumption we rarely question, that who you are right now is fundamentally insufficient, that your natural state requires correction, that you are a rough draft not yet ready for the world. This is the foundation of modern self-improvement, and it's rarely examined. You're not struggling. You're doing the work. You're not dissatisfied. You're committed to growth. But when growth becomes constant, relentless, and mandatory, it stops being growth. It becomes self-rejection, wearing the mask of self-love. There's a subtle violence in always treating yourself as a problem to be solved. Not dramatic violence, quiet violence, the kind where every moment of rest feels undeserved, where pleasure needs justification, where stillness feels like failure. You wake up already behind your potential, behind the person you could be. The voice that starts as motivation slowly becomes indistinguishable from the voice that says, "You're not enough yet." And the cruel part is this: the harder you try to fix yourself, the stronger that voice gets. Because the entire system depends on you believing you still need work. Discipline looks powerful. It photographs well. Early mornings, cold showers, silent meditation, perfect routines. We admire discipline because it looks like strength. But there's an important difference that rarely gets discussed. Discipline that comes from alignment feels grounding. Discipline enforced through self-threat feels like boot camp. I spent years mistaking the performance of discipline for integrity. Waking early not because it served my life, but because serious people did. Meditating not from desire, but from fear of skipping. Maintaining routines not because they felt alive, but because breaking them felt like moral failure. The whip was always in my hand, and I was the one feeling it. This creates an internal war. One part of you trying to improve, another part constantly failing to improve enough. That relationship isn't growth, it's hostility. And hostility doesn't transform, it exhausts. Self-improvement sells you a promise. Just fix this one thing, and then you'll be okay. Lose the weight, heal the trauma, develop the habits, reach the milestone. But every time you arrive, the goalpost moves. Because the problem was never the thing you were fixing. The problem was the belief that you were incomplete. No amount of improvement can fix a stance of inadequacy. You don't arrive. You just find new ways to feel behind. This creates a strange homelessness. You're always preparing to live, but never quite living. Always becoming, never being. And the tragedy is that this feels virtuous, responsible, serious. But what if the commitment to constant growth is the very thing preventing you from feeling at home in your life? You're not living up to your potential. Few sentences sound so motivating and cut so deeply. Potential is infinite, which means inadequacy becomes infinite too. No matter what you do, you could always do more, be better, optimize further, so rest becomes wasted potential. Joy becomes indulgence, ordinariness becomes failure. Your life isn't evaluated by whether it's meaningful, but whether it's efficient. This is capitalism applied inward. You are no longer a person, you are a project. Even healing hasn't escaped optimization. Therapy language fills our conversations. Trauma responses, attachment styles, nervous system regulation. On the surface, this is progress, but something strange has happened. Healing has become something you're supposed to do correctly. Your suffering needs insights. Your pain needs lessons. Your breakdown needs to be productive. I've noticed this in myself. Moments of real sadness instantly narrated in therapeutic language. Not felt, analysed. Understanding becomes a way to avoid feeling. This is modern spiritual bypassing. Real healing is rarely aesthetic. It's messy, disorienting, unmarketable, and you can't perform and transform at the same time. What real transformation looks like. Here's what the self-improvement industry won't tell you. Real transformation doesn't look like improvement. It looks like dissolution. It looks like things falling apart, like identities no longer working, like not knowing who you are for a while. Self-improvement keeps you in control. Transformation takes control away. You can optimize forever without changing, but you cannot surrender and remain the same. And surrender is exactly what the improving mind resists. There's a different kind of peace available, not from becoming someone better, but from stopping the war against who you already are. This isn't resignation. It's not giving up on growth. It's questioning the assumption that you were ever broken. What if you're not a problem to be solved, but a life to be lived? Change still happens, but it comes from curiosity, not contempt, from desire, not deficiency. Like a tree growing, not because it's insufficient, but because it's alive. If the problem isn't lack of effort, what's the practice? Being, which sounds simple and is profoundly difficult. Being means letting experiences exist without immediately fixing them, letting anxiety be felt, letting sadness be sad, letting joy be joy without turning it into homework. It means catching yourself when you pick up the clipboard again and gently setting it down. Not violently, not perfectly, just enough to breathe. There's a moment, if you're lucky, when striving falls away, not dramatically, quietly. You're washing dishes, walking, drinking coffee, and you realize you're just here and not improving, not optimizing, not becoming, living, and something soft opens. Not because you've arrived somewhere special, but because you stop trying to leave. This doesn't make life easy, but it makes it real. Self-improvement promised freedom. But for many of us it became another cage, a beautiful one, a disciplined one, a meaningful looking one, but still a cage. The invitation isn't to abandon growth, it's to abandon the belief that you must become someone else to deserve your life. You don't need to earn rest, you don't need to justify joy, you don't need to fix yourself before you're allowed to be here. The war can end, and what remains is simple, ordinary, quiet, your actual life, waiting patiently for you to stop improving long enough to live it.